Iowa State Johnson County Senior Center. My name is Michelle. I'm the program specialist here at the center, and it is my honor to introduce Dr. Cheng. She is a practicing acupuncturist and has a clinic in Coralville. And if you have any questions about that, she can talk about that later. But she's also a volunteer here at the Senior Center. She's doing this 3-part series. This is the first of 3 parts. We'll also have a lecture in October and one in November that you're welcome to come to as well. And then once a month on Saturdays, she does free ear acupuncture. And it's by appointment, and it's down in the lobby.
Yes, yes. On
so
Saturday.
She really knows her stuff, and I think you're going to learn a lot from her program today. And thank you for coming, and we'll go ahead and get started.
All right. Okay, welcome everybody. It's my pleasure to be here today to be sharing the wealth of knowledge of Chinese medicine. And I know we're all here for a common thing, which is for our health, and that is what Chinese medicine is all about. A little bit about myself. My name is Kai-Yung. I'm a 4th-generation Chinese medicine practitioner. I was born in Taiwan. I received my training and education at Bastyr University in Seattle. My background training includes both naturopathic medicine and also Chinese medicine. And I furthered my study in Shanghai and Taiwan, where they have traditional Chinese medicine hospitals and clinics. All right, and so welcome all of you. And I know some of you might have some background in or knowledge in Chinese culture, such as Tai Chi. I know Tai Chi is a popular class here at the Senior Center. Some people might know about Qigong or martial arts. Or maybe this is your first time hearing about Chinese medicine. But what I'm going to tell you, what you will learn today, actually not all Chinese people know about it. So you'll get the first-hand information. And at the end of this lecture, not only you'll learn about what is the essence that encompasses Chinese medicine, you will also learn about the basic origin of all Chinese culture, which is the Yin and the Yang. And you will also learn on the healthy living tips in accordance to the 4 seasons. And so, and overall, we're here to gain our health mentally, physically, and spiritually. And so let's get started. And then what Michelle just talked about, so today is the first lecture series where we will cover the basic principles. The second lecture is on October 24th, also a Wednesday at 3 o'clock, where we will cover the modalities of Chinese medicine, from acupuncture needles to cupping, gua sha therapy, to herbal treatments. So we'll cover more of that and also do some live demonstration here. And the third lecture, which is on November 14th, I'll be sharing some TCM secrets, which is nutrition, as well as, and I've written it down here, secrets of TCM bioclock for health. So there's actually a whole sort of scheme of, according to different times of the day, what you should do in order to maintain good health and promote longevity. So we'll cover that in the third lecture. All right. And let's see, we'll get started. So, what is Chinese medicine? Like, in America, a lot of people know Chinese medicine by acupuncture. You know, and people have delved so much research time into understanding why is it so powerful? How does it work? Is it trial and error? Is it placebo? And this picture I'm about to show you can illustrate basically what the people are thinking. So people really don't know, and they think, oh, maybe it's trial and error. So you got this mammoth, all of a sudden, his neck feels better. But in actuality, in order to understand acupuncture, you have to understand the origin, the whole package of Chinese medicine that comes with it. And this picture will tell you what it is. Acupuncture is only a tip of iceberg. There's so much wealth of wisdom and knowledge behind it. If you don't understand that, you're just kind of at the tip. So today we will actually delve into, the below part. And in actuality, with martial arts, with Qigong, with Tai Chi, it all comes from the same origin. There's a proverb, Chinese proverb. Does anyone know I Ching? It's a type of sort of ideology from China. And there's a proverb that says Chinese medicine and I Ching are from the same origin. So we will really delve into that in a bit. Okay. So Chinese medicine was developed thousands of years ago. Its first medical text showed up around 2,500 years ago. And the textbook is called The Yellow Emperor's Internal Classics. And this is a picture of the Yellow Emperor. And in this book, it emphasized on promoting longevity and good health. So it really talked about identifying what this disease is and how to treat it. It was more like how to promote good health. What do I need to do mentally, spiritually, and physically to promote that? And there is one essence that this book touches on, another Chinese proverb. It's called the harmony of the sky and human. And what does that mean? And I found a great picture. Maybe this will illustrate. So imagine the harmony of sky and human becomes one, that oneness. So this proverb basically illustrates that people are connected to the universe, and that harmony is achieved by accepting the natural life forces and the natural way of life. And it is also about eating healthy, doing the right exercise at the right time, and also maintaining an emotional equilibrium. And actually, Chinese medicine is a life science. It emphasizes that observation is a key thing in Chinese medicine. But not only you observe the outer world, you also observe the inner world. And by saying that the harmony of sky and human, that means if you look into your micro universe, then you can understand the macro, the bigger universe. Another Chinese proverb, it says, from medicine, you understand the way of living, and from it, you understand the world. And this goes, the observation that we just talked about, it goes even far as your daily activity. So whether you're sitting here, whether you're standing, every movement is all about medicine. And that key thing is called Yin Yang, which we will get to right now. Okay, I'm sure all of you have seen Yin Yang symbol everywhere. Anything that has to do with martial arts, you'll see Yin Yang. Can you tell me which one is correct? And this is the part that not all Chinese people know. The first, this one looks right. All right, I won't keep you guys pondering. I'll tell you, it is this one. And it's actually, if you have to kind of understand in a way. So the yang, we think of it as fire as a representative of yang, and water is representative of yin. So if you think of the nature, by observation again, if you think of fire, the flame rises up. So that's why you have this going up, and the water is heavy, gravity, sinking down. And then we'll talk about more why that is on the left side versus the right side. But that is just to tell you that that is the correct symbol of Yin Yang. And then, oh yes, there's more handout there. Yeah, right there. And in order to understand Yin Yang, you also have to understand 5 elements. So Yin Yang by itself is just, it is as it is, but it is the 5 element that makes it more exciting. I just put it that way. And unfortunately, a lot of people understand 5 element as, oh, okay, it is water, and water, when you keep watering it, it creates a wood, so the plant grows out from wood. Okay, if you take the wood and go burn it, and it creates fire, and fire, when it becomes ashes, it becomes earth, and earth, inside the earth, there's a lot of minerals, so that creates metal. So actually, no, 5 element doesn't really equals to material objects. The material object symbolizes what it is, but it doesn't equal to it. 5 element in Chinese is called 五行. And 五行, if you literally have to translate it, it means 5 movement or 5 stages or quality. And Yin Yang, let's see. So right here. So Yin Yang and Wuxing, they're not an isolated concept. Without Yin Yang, Wuxing doesn't exist. And without Wuxing, Yin Yang doesn't just sits there and doesn't have a meaning to it. So now we're gonna combine the 2. So, but we have to come back to the theory of the harmony of sky and human. And just kind of look at this again. How do we combine the changing life forces, the different stages of Wuxing, and how does that relate to the yin and the yang? So in actuality, 5 element is showing the stages of yin yang. And yin yang gives quality to the 5 element. So here is the picture again. And then I will kind of combine it where the sky and the human becomes one. And then now this is kind of the tricky part where you guys have a table handout here. And I'll draw the yin yang picture, and then we will go macro into micro. Okay. So we have like a center here. And then, okay. And then we know this. This is the dark part with the white. All right. Okay, so starting with 5 directions. So we have east. And east actually relates to our left side. So I'll just put a big L here. East. And then south is here. And then center. We have west here on this side and north. Okay, so why is yin yang showing stages of 5 element? Remember we said this was all water, and water is heavy, and then this part is fire, and fire goes up. Well, think of the south. South is really hot, so that's why south is here. And all the water going down here, north is cold. So that's how Chinese in the ancient time understood the directions. Okay, and now we go to 5 seasons, honing in. So east is spring. And like this one, definitely summer. Okay, and the west is autumn. And north is winter. So this is all making sense. you understand that we're kind of skipping the middle column? That's for the center. And okay, and then now we go to the 5 element. Here is wood. When wood is burnt, generates fire. And fire down here, it kind of goes, there's actually a spot right here, but it's more, when you have to draw in the picture, it actually locates in here. And fire creates earth. And so this is the center, earth. And then autumn, where we have metal. In winter, we have water. So again, this is symbolizing the yin yang. The yang part is fire. The yin part is water. Okay, and then now, time to address the human body. And the 5 organs, one interesting thing that I hope everybody understands is that whenever Chinese medicine, when they talk about the 5 organs or any organ system, they're not really talking about the actual organ. So for example, liver, when we sometimes say, oh, your liver blood deficient, it's not like something really is wrong with your liver. When they talk about liver, it's more like an energy that symbolizes how it flows, and so it's not the real liver, but sometimes it does overlap. So we have liver here, and we have the heart here. We have lungs, and then kidneys. Okay. And these organs further open up, have a corresponding sort of opening in our body system. This one opens to the eye. This opens to the tongue. This opens to the nose. And this opens to the ears. Okay. And then further honing in onto a person's aspect that you can see, which is the 5 emotions. So the liver associates, or the yeast associates with anger, joy, sadness, and this one is fear. And actually in the middle is worry. So this is kind of like an overflow. And you would think, well, how does this relate to Chinese medicine? I'll give you one example. My really dear teacher, she's at Bastyr University. Her name is Hong Yu. And one time when I was still a student intern, this lady came in and had a conjunctivitis, like a redness in her eye, only on one side, her left side. And we, as a student, we were all like asking her all these little information details. We're trying to gather all the information we can. Did you change your, facial wash? Did you change your contact? Was there a bacterial infection? We just went on and on and on. However, when my teacher, Hong, when she came in, she sat down, took the patient's pulse. The first question she asked the patient was, did you recently have an argument with somebody? Did you have a fight with somebody? And the patient looked like, well, yeah, I fought with my boyfriend this past weekend. And that was when all the eye things started. And then my teacher was like, okay, I know what to do. And then and she left the room and we were like, what is she talking about? Couldn't it be some bacterial infection or whatnot? But when we came out and asked the teacher, she explained this chart to us. And because it was on her left side and she had a fight with somebody, and the liver, when it's constrained and it wants to burst out, then the energy went through her eyes and she had the conjunctivitis. So it is this type of thinking, logic that that makes Chinese medicine a little bit more profound. Like, how would this something perhaps bacterial occur? But it's definitely, and then we later treated her, kind of soothing her energy, and really her eye got better. So that's just one example of showing you how Chinese medicine practitioner sort of thinking process. Okay. So with all this in mind, we will go into the 4-season living tips, and then we'll kind of refer back to this. All right, so for spring, and for each season, I will cover a little short translation from the Yellow Emperor's internal classics, and then I will also tell you a little bit of what food that they suggest, okay? So the first one, spring. And a lot of things in Chinese medicine is pictorial. You kind of have to use your imagination. So for spring, you have new growth. So in the Huangdi Neijing, which is the Yellow Emperor classic, it says, the 3 months of spring brings revitalization. It is time of birth, and it is best to go to bed early and then wake early and let your hair loose and wear loose fitting clothes. Take a leisure walk in the garden and stretch out your tendons. Be open both physically and emotionally. And if you violate the natural order of spring, it will damage the liver. You see how the spring is related to liver. And if liver is damaged, then it will create disease for summer because the foundation of nourishment was not plentiful in the spring. So if you imagine this little sprout is growing, but we let it wear tight clothes and we tie the hair up. It's not going to be happy. And when it's not happy, what will happen? Anger. and if the sprouting aspect isn't strong enough, how are we going to get fruits in the summer? So if you imagine kind of the little plant, follow the natural sort of guidance, what the nature is teaching us. There's a lot of information in there. And it says to take a leisure walk and stretch out the tendon. Liver, I didn't include in here, but liver also controls tendons in our body. So it's a good time to do kind of a Tai Chi yoga type of exercise in spring. Okay. And for food, it says to eat more grains and seeds because these foods have abundant energy inside them waiting to sprout, just like this little plant here. And on the back of your handout, I included a recipe for spring roll. Have you guys ever wondered why spring roll is called spring roll? I didn't know that either. Because the original ingredient of spring roll included sprouts and eggs. Those symbolizes sort of energy waiting to be born. And so this would be a good time to eat those type of foods to enhance the energy to be born in the later season. Okay. So that's spring. All right, summer. The summer 3 months. It is when all things flourish. It's best to go to bed late and wake up early. Stay physically active to sweat it out. And this is the time you want to sweat it out to prevent pores from clogging and the qi from stagnating. And then I'll explain a little bit why. You see how this energy is originally from here and then going up So the yang energy is going up, so does our yang energy in the body. They all want to go out in the pores. And so if we try to hold them down, then that creates some stagnation. And so that's why the Yellow Emperor is telling us this is the time to do exercise that will help promote some sweating. And emotionally, avoid anger, because this is the time of heart. And heart relates to joy. But we don't want to overjoy either. Chinese medicine is all about being, in the middle, equilibrium. As the yang energy goes up, it is also a tendency that we get overly joyed from summer vacation and all the parties. But it is also needed to refrain from overjoy. So stay happy and easygoing, it says. And violating this natural order of summer will damage the heart and create disease for the autumn. Because the energy was not able to peak, then thus lowering the supply demand for autumn. So imagine this is a seed growing, and once it gets to the peak, it flowers. But if it doesn't flower, we're not gonna get fruit here in the autumn. So for food, what should we eat for summer? Because the summer yang energy rises up and all goes out to our body, that leaves our internal organ vulnerable. So in the summertime, you may find yourself having poor digestion, lack of appetite, and then easy to have a diarrhea. That is because all the yang energy, what is supposed to move the inside, is all out now. So leaving the inner part kind of cold and vulnerable. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but in Chinese medicine, they actually suggest eating ginger in the summer to warm up the internal digestion, and also to eat soup. Because in the summer, when we have low appetite, it is nice to have some soup, which is easy to digest, and then so that also help warm our digestion. And soup and broth, things that are cooked down, and so the nutrients are also already extracted, and so it'll be easy on our digestion. Okay, so that is summer. In autumn, let me back up. This is the time when things reach maturity and a level of stability. It is best to go to bed early and wake early. When the weather turns harsh during the autumn time, so can our emotions. So it is best to remain calm and peaceful and collect your thoughts from running wild. So this collect your thoughts, you can also think of it as harvesting. This is a time of harvest. And we've already, reached the peak, and now it's time to gather all the good sources. And it says, violating the natural order of autumn will damage the lungs and create disease for the winter, because the energy was not harvested, and thus making the winter storage difficult. So winter, which we'll talk about later, is a time for dormancy and storage, waiting for the next round of life cycle. But if you don't harvest enough, you might not survive the winter. And so for food, autumn, and this is in the olden time, they actually suggested people to eat more sauces. And in the olden days, when they make sauces, whether it be a spicy sauce or sour sauce, these sauces are fermented. And that means it has a lot of enzyme to help our digestion. Especially in the fall, this is a time where we get abundance of food, and we might need some enzyme to help us digest. So they digest and absorb nutrients. So this is the time they would suggest eating sauces. Okay. All right. In winter. So winter is the time to conserve energy and store. in Chinese, the Yellow Emperor says, winter 3 months is when all things dormant and conserve energy. It's best to go to bed early and wake up after the sunrise. Because it's cold, and so we want the sun to, warm up the room first before you get up. And avoid, and this will also avoid disturbing too much of a yang energy in our body. And at this season, desires and mental activities should be kept quiet. Stay warm, avoid sweating, and keep your pores closed. And some people might not even take showers because they want to keep their pores closed. Violating the natural order of the winter will damage the kidneys and create disease for the spring because the energy was not conserved, and then making the spring seed unable to sprout. And so you see, the yin, yang, and 5 element really going in a full circle is kind of like Chinese medicine is all about cause and effect. So if you do something, prepare yourself here, then you get the result here. If you don't prepare yourself, you might see some disease coming up too. And so this is, looking at the human body, but you can also look at it in the macro sense at how our world, how our season is going. So taking this past winter, for example, we had a really warm winter. And so if you think about, okay, if this is, the storage part isn't well, how might the summer be? If the yin energy isn't there, when the yang rises in the summer, there's not a hold back. There's nothing to hold back. And so that's why we had a extraordinarily hot summer this year. So in a way, you can use yin yang in your daily life and just kind of observe the things surrounding you. You can figure things out in a logical sense. Okay. All right. And for food, winter, they actually suggested some weak wine. I'm not quite sure what that might be in terms of today. As all yang energy conserved inside the body, people move less in the winter, pores are closed, it is easy to catch a cold on the surface. So in the old days, people drink a little bit of wine for its dispersing property. When this wine is drinking, the channel will kind of open. Your meridians will open up a little bit. And so it'll move any stagnant qi that has sat there too long. And also it will move some dampness. So whenever we don't sit there too long and don't move, there's dampness that will create. So drinking weak wine helps the body to keep warm and also dispel coldness. Okay. So that is it for the 4-season living. And then the Chinese medicine is really about life science. And I hope today that you will walk away with kind of a new perspective in how the world runs from a Chinese sort of a yin-yang angle. I don't expect everybody to go home and do this yet. But she is definitely a practitioner, whether physically, mentally. She must be following sort of the doctrine of Chinese medicine somehow without knowing to be able to do this. But I really, yeah, I believe she was 87 when she took this picture.
She's a show off.
Yeah, but I do hope everyone will go home and kind of remember the essence of Chinese medicine, that the sky and human, there's a harmony that needs to be reached. The universe outside and inside needs to be respected. and really need to be aware of, and to keep your keen observation open. I think that is very, very important, and the key foundation to good health. So I hope everyone here has good health, and maybe I'll see you in the next lecture. All right, thank you. Yeah. Yes.
Under what element would you put the skin?
Oh, spleen. Yes. Earth.
The skin?
Oh, skin.
Yeah.
Skin actually relates to the
Autumn?
the autumn lung. Yeah. Because they think of lung as, you breathing in and out, so does your pores. Yeah, so the skin. Yes?
How does this change if you're in, say, Australia, which is below
Oh.
the equator?
But they do have 4 seasons too, right?
Right, but
Yeah.
that's the opposite of ours.
I believe similar, the Yin Yang applies there as well, because, they still have 4 seasons, they still have the directions. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions that you have? Yes.
Is there any Chinese medicine practiced in Iowa City?
I am. Yes.
Do you have a card?
Oh yeah. Yes, I have those. We can distribute it. Yep. Any other? Yes.
Well, I can just say I've had a treatment and it
Oh.
definitely
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and I tell people, acupuncture, even though we saw it was a tip of iceberg, but it does really channel into our body. And even though in America, most people know it by pain relief, and they come in for knee pain and back pain, but they walk out feeling like, oh, I'm so relaxed. What's going on? And I tell them it's 1 stone, 2 birds, because not only we're going into the muscle layer and then relaxing it with the needles, but we're also tapping into the acupuncture meridians, and each point have their own function in helping the body to come back to equilibrium. And we'll talk more about the meridians and channels next.
Can acupuncture work for anxiety?
Oh yes, big time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I've had experience with acupuncture and Kaiyu,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's a wonderful experience, and it's a whole new way of looking at your body and your health,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and then yes, go ahead.
My first experience with it was when I was having sinus infection.
Uh-huh.
I was getting a chiropractic adjustment. My chiropractor also had training in acupuncture,
Uh-huh.
and he used acupressure right here,
Oh.
and
Okay.
it worked like a charm on getting rid of the pain in the sinuses.
Yeah. Yeah. I offered a free acupuncture here a while ago. There was a health fair here at the senior center, and one gentleman had neck pain, and he never tried acupuncture, and I put 1 needle on his forearm for his neck pain, and he started rotating, and he was passing his sort of stuck endpoint, and so it all has to do with the body channel and meridian. So yeah, I had one teacher, he would say, well, where's the light? Okay, it's up here, and where's the light switch? Over there. And so same thing in our body. We have light switches other places. Yeah.
My mother went to a man who was Chinese.
Uh-huh.
He was a Western MD, but he also knew Chinese medicine.
Hmm.
And he said, whenever I travel with my family, I don't bring my medical bag, I just bring my acupuncture needles. That's all I need.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely.
Well,
Yes.
I had acupuncture done in my knee. I'm sitting here with my legs crossed. I haven't been able to cross my legs 2 or 3 years, and I can
Yeah.
sit here again. It's not completely gone, but I would say 80%.
Mm.
I sleep at night. I mean, it's different. I
Yeah.
can't recommend.
Yeah.
How do I make an appointment to see you?
Oh, I'll give you my business card. Yeah. Yeah. Go
Oh,
ahead.
just another antidote.
Oh, yes.
A number of years ago in Portland, I had a medical doctor who was also an acupuncturist, and he discovered something about my liver that might have gone totally.
Wow.
And it was through the combination of that that he
Yeah.
was able to detect.
Yeah. And right now in the modern days, all acupuncturists, they also receive Western medicine training. So right now, it's not only about which one is better. It's a combination of the two. Yes. 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 So we're bringing the best of both sides. Yeah.
I need to say one more thing.
Yeah.
In the last issue of the AARP,
Mhm.
they talked about it, that acupuncture should be used in certain treatments. It should be included.
Mm.
And they really spoke well of acupuncture.
Oh, okay. I have to
And
look
it's
up that.
AARP.
AARP?
It's reached,
Okay.
I don't know how many million.
Okay. I'll take a look at that.
Now let's get Medicare.
That's what we
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
California.
Oh.
Over.
Yeah.
It
It's still probably kind of a new thing here, still in baby step. Yeah. And actually, like, I think the first acupuncturist in practicing in California, and she was arrested even. I think that was back in the, oh gosh, 60s, 70s? Yeah. And so they have come a long way. Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys for coming. Yeah, thank you.